The Galactic Council chamber gleamed with bioluminescent walls, casting an ethereal glow over the assembled representatives of 47 star systems. Kendall stood at the observation deck of the human delegation ship, her knuckles white as she gripped the railing. Through the viewport, she watched the council proceedings with growing dread. "They're actually going to do it," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the hum of the ship's systems. Roman moved beside her, his jaw clenched tight. As Earth's military attaché, he had seen countless diplomatic failures, but nothing like this. "The vote is unanimous," he said flatly. "Humanity has been classified as a Class 7 servile species." The words hit Kendall like a physical blow. For 3 generations, humanity had fought for recognition among the stars. They had shared their technology, their culture, their very DNA in genetic databases. And now the galaxy had spoken. Humans were to be slaves. The Vacrian ambassador's voice echoed through the communications channel, translated into cold, mechanical English. "The human species demonstrates exceptional physical endurance and cognitive adaptability. They will serve the greater galactic civilization in labor, research, and entertainment capacities. Effective immediately, all human vessels are to be impounded, and all human colonies will be redistributed to appropriate overseer species." Roman's hand instinctively moved to his sidearm before he caught himself. Violence here would mean nothing, just one more excuse for the Council to justify their decision. "We need to get word back to Earth," he said urgently, "before they lock down all communications." Kendall was already moving toward the communication station. Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, encoding a priority alpha message on the quantum entanglement channel. It would reach Earth instantaneously, bypassing all conventional methods the Council might intercept. "Message sent," she confirmed. "But Roman, what can Earth do? We're one world against an entire galaxy." Roman's eyes darkened with something Kendall had never seen before, not fear, but a terrible, cold calculation. "You don't understand what humanity is capable of when we're cornered," he said quietly. The Council made a fundamental miscalculation. 3 hours later, the first anomaly appeared. The Drexian fleet, assigned to begin the subjugation of Earth's outer colonies, simply vanished. One moment, their 300 warships were approaching the Titan mining station. The next, every vessel ceased transmitting. Search parties found only debris, and that debris showed signs of exposure to temperatures that shouldn't exist outside a star's core. Kendall monitored the reports flowing into their ship with increasing disbelief. "What's happening out there?" Roman studied the tactical displays with grim satisfaction. "Earth is answering." The Galactic Council had never asked about humanity's true technological capabilities. They had seen Earth's peaceful merchant vessels, their scientific exploration ships, their cultural exchange programs. They had never questioned why a species so recently arrived in the galactic community seemed so calm, so measured, so careful in their dealings. They had never wondered what humanity kept hidden. The second wave of anomalies struck the Vorten Collective's home system. Every artificial satellite, every space station, every orbital construction simply stopped functioning. When investigation teams boarded them, they found the crews alive but catatonic, their neural patterns rewritten at the quantum level. A message played on repeat in every vessel: "You declared us slaves. We declare you mistaken." Kendall watched in horror as star systems across the galaxy reported similar incidents. The Cathar Armada found their ships' navigation systems corrupted, sending them on trajectories toward their own suns. The Zelthian breeding worlds experienced a cascade failure of their atmospheric processes. The countless species themselves found their homeworld's defense grid turned against them. Orbital weapons platforms locked onto their own cities. "Roman, this is genocide," Kendall breathed. "Earth is committing genocide." "No," Roman corrected, his voice hard as steel. "Earth is demonstrating proportional response. Every system that voted for our enslavement is experiencing precisely the fate they intended for us: complete loss of autonomy and freedom. The difference is, we can reverse it at any time." The third day after the proclamation, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The chamber that had once held 47 delegations now held only 15. The others were too busy dealing with the systematic dismantling of their civilizations. Kendall and Roman received an invitation, not a summons, but an invitation to address the Council. They stood before the assembled aliens, no longer as supplicants but as equals. The Vacrian ambassador, who had so confidently declared humanity's servitude, now looked diminished, its crystalline exoskeleton dulled with stress. "What do you want?" the ambassador asked, and for the first time, Kendall heard genuine fear in an alien voice. Roman stepped forward. "We want what we always wanted: recognition, respect, the right to exist as a free species." He paused, letting his words sink in. "You saw our merchant ships and assumed we were weak. You saw our scientists and assumed we were naive. You never asked why a species that only achieved faster than light travel 50 years ago seemed so confident venturing into a galaxy millions of years older than our civilization." Kendall activated a holographic display. It showed Earth not as the Council knew it, but as it truly was. beneath the ocean's enormous construct bays were ships unlike anything in the known galaxy rested in hibernation. Within the planet's core, energy collectors that tapped directly into the fundamental forces of reality. In orbit, hidden behind perception filters. Defense platforms that made the Council's most advanced weapons look like primitive clubs. We didn't come to the galaxy unprepared, Kendall said softly. We came hoping we wouldn't need these things. We wanted to be part of something greater than ourselves. You chose to see us as slaves instead of partners. The counselor sat in stunned silence. Roman's voice cut through the quiet like a blade. Here are our terms. Every human will be recognized as a free citizen of the galaxy. Every colony will be returned to our administration. And most importantly, the Council will draft and ratify the Sentience Accords, a guarantee that no species, said ever again, will be declared servile based on the prejudices of the powerful. And if we refuse, the Vacrian ambassador asked, though its voice held no defiance. Kendall smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Then we'll show you what humanity is really capable of. What you've seen so far. That was us being merciful. The vote was unanimous. Humanity was recognized as a full member of the Galactic Council, with all rights and protections thereof. The Sentience Accords were drafted within a week and ratified within a month. As their ship departed the Council station, Kendall stood again at the viewport watching the stars. Roman joined her, and for a long moment, neither spoke. Do you think they'll ever forgive us? Kendall asked. Roman considered the question carefully. No, he said finally. But they'll remember, and maybe that's more important. The galaxy tried to break humanity, and instead discovered that we don't break, we break others when pushed too far. Kendall nodded slowly. The day humanity was proclaimed a slave would be remembered forever, not as the day Earth fell, but as the day the galaxy learned that some species should never be underestimated. Earth's fury had not destroyed the galaxy, but it had fundamentally reshaped it, and in the darkness between stars, humanity's true fleet waited in silence. A reminder that peace was always a choice, and humanity had chosen mercy when it could have chosen annihilation. That choice, more than any weapon, would define humanity's place among the stars for generations to come.